like a mellow Taylor Swift song, and they're like, "This is a bop," and I go, "No, no, no, Celebration is a bop."
Hi, welcome to the guest list with Patrick Hicks. Today, I'm very excited to be joined by actor, director Sean Whalen. Sean, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Patrick. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, of course. I have been watching you since I was a kid. This is super exciting to have you on. We've been mutuals on TikTok for a while, so
Yes, yeah.
it,
I love and despise you on TikTok because I would always get your videos and it would say, this is a story about loyalty, and I go, I don't need to hear this story. I do. Yes, I do. And I would just like, you get me every time, and I go, man, he's a great storyteller.
oh,
Because
thank you.
it's always like, am I gonna know the band? And I loved your format, and I've kind
Oh,
of
thanks so much.
so.
Yeah, that means a lot coming from somebody who is a storyteller themselves. You've been in so many iconic movies, Twister, uh, That Thing You Do. I feel like, as a music guy, I
Yes,
gotta shout out your part in
musically,
that.
yes,
A
yes,
small part, but very memorable, which I feel like is kind
yes,
of kind of your specialty sometimes is
yes, and I'm trying to change that. So, uh,
yeah, well, yeah, you recently directed and starred in your own horror movie Crust, which is so fun. If people
oh,
have
you
not
got to see
seen it,
it.
oh yeah, if you haven't seen it, people go check it out. You can rent it for just like a couple bucks. I rented it on YouTube, and it's so fun. It's a
Thank you.
black and white horror movie set in a laundromat.
Hmm.
There is a monster made of crusty socks. I don't want to spoil too much, but
Yes, but it's more comedy fun than horror, I would say. It's
yeah.
the glorious
Well,
thing in the world, but it's a creature feature horror movie, which, the monsters weren't usually that too scary, if you go back and look.
yeah. I saw an interview where you were talking about kind of the genesis of this movie is somebody was telling you horror is so expensive to make because they're thinking
Yeah,
of special effects and gore, and you were like, horror is you can do horror in one location
yeah.
with a monster in socks, and you did.
And
So
I did. Yeah.
yeah.
And it was a great lesson to see if I even had an affinity or care for directing and producing, and I loved it.
Yeah. So are there plans to direct more movies? Are you going to start
Yeah,
focusing
I've
on that
just
or?
finished finished our second one in February.
Oh,
I've
great.
partnered up with my the woman who played Neela
Is
is my
that
best friend.
Rebecca
Her and
Kennedy? Is
her,
that right?
yes, Rebecca Kennedy. Yes, she plays Neela, and she and I and her husband, my wife. So me and my wife have a production company. Her and her husband have one, and we co-produced a movie called Swipe with Elaine Hendricks and Ray Santiago from Ash versus the Evil Dead, Hana May Lee from Pitch Perfect, and we just did a horror movie called Swipe, which we are now sending out to distributors as we speak.
Oh, awesome. I can't wait for that one.
If you just put in Swipe Sean Whalen, you'll see.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. I gotta check that out.
find it. You can find the trailer for that.
So you've lived in Los Angeles, I think, since the early 80s, but
Yes.
originally you're from the Washington, D.C. area, is that right?
Yes. Yep. Born and raised in Maryland. Yep.
All right, so tell me about a song that reminds you of your childhood growing up in Maryland.
It's so funny because think about there's so many different, oh my God, there's so many different ones in terms of fun, but there's always these couple that always haunt me because I was little and we had the little turn radios. They would turn and go off in 60 minutes like a timer.
Yeah.
And for some reason, when I was scared, I always wanted to turn on the radio to calm down and, get my mind off of things. And it was always Riders on the Storm. And it was scary. So I'd wake up
Yeah,
at like 7 and be like, there's a killer on the run. And I'm like laying in bed going, oh, this is terrible. So
that's a good
that's
one.
the one that always reminds me of childhood. There's so many others. I remember listening Life in the Fast Lane when I got that album. It just listening to it over and over again. The guitar riff, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. But
Yeah.
those are probably my two big ones.
Yeah, Riders on the Storm, it does start with like the falling rain sounds, and that is a
Yes,
creepy one. Yeah.
terrifying for a kid. Or else I would always get the Led Zeppelin song when it was like in the middle where it was going like like all weird. And I'm
Oh
looking,
yeah,
I'm looking for Celebration by Kool and the Gang to calm me down a little bit.
that's so funny. Did you ever play any music or anything as a kid?
I did. I played the drums
Oh really?
in
Okay.
band. Yeah, in band, but I just played stand-up snare and bass drum, and I didn't really make the transition to the drum kit.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
How early on did you know you wanted to be an actor?
Probably by like fifth grade, I really found the love of acting. Wanting it to do it full time probably didn't come till high school.
Hmm. Did
Yeah.
you like act in high school plays and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. I did Godspell and Dracula and a bunch of other shows. And then I directed some, Neil Simon, Plaza Suite, and, and the community theater, Diary of Anne Frank, and a bunch of stuff. So I was very busy in high school doing a lot of theater and music and chorus. And we even
Yeah.
had a barbershop quartet. Me and we literally made money. We'd go to parties, and you could hire us to sing at parties and weddings and stuff like that, and we became pretty popular.
Really? What was the name of the barbershop quartet?
Down Our Way, which is a very famous it's a famous barbershop song.
Got
uh
it.
yeah, it's a terrible name for a high school kids, horrible. So
Have you ever sang in any movies?
no, I don't think I have. I really don't think I have. The
Hmm.
crust is the first time I really like. I mean, I danced in That Thing You Do, but
Right,
like
right.
like a dance number was crust. So
All right. What is a song from a live concert that stands out to you?
oh, it has to be my first concert I ever went to was Rick James, and he had just put out Street Songs, the one with "Give It to Me, Baby," "Super Freak." Very easily, you'd agree, his biggest album.
Right,
Uh,
right.
and his band was called the Stone City Band. And it was the first concert I ever went to. It was general admission. We got down there very early, waited in line, and the controversy was if he was going to smoke marijuana or not, because the Capitol Center said, if you do, you'll never come back. And in the middle of the show, he said, they told me that I can't smoke. So he took his joint and like took a big hit. And I said, screw them. And he never went back. He was banned from the place
Oh,
and never back. But at the uh encore, we were sitting there and the set was a whole bunch of tall buildings. The buildings were all lined up, and the band was on the top of the buildings. It was a cityscape. It was a really cool set.
yeah.
And he was far on the right, and he stood there with his foot up, just standing there like this after one of the songs. And he stood there with his foot up, and his head was down, and it just waited and waited, and people were like cheering, going, "Oh, this is really cool!" The anticipation. Then it became like, is he okay? Like, what's happening? It was really long, and he had those huge boots on and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, he went do 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 do, counting off four count, with his boot. He just stomped four times, one, two, three, and then all the way on the other side of the stage, a spotlight hit one of the building. The bass guy goes do 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 do, and it goes bang, and the whole thing lights up, like "Give It to Me, Baby," but with the whole trumpet sound and stuff like that. It was unbelievable. He had a
That's
great
so cool.
band. Yeah, it's such a great, I mean, that's such a great song. Uh,
Yeah.
and it just got people nuts. It was fantastic. Yeah.
Uh, what is a song that you associate with a specific activity?
Um, I would say it's so funny because I got these earlier and you said, you can look at them or not. And I loved that I didn't, because now they're just hitting me, these answers. So I probably theater life. When I was doing this play, Godspell, with a bunch of people, and it was when Love and Touch and Squeezin' with Journey came out, and we all would sing and harmonize the na 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 na, and thinking of all those theater, it always makes me think of being in the theater performing in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very cool because we could all harmonize and stuff. So it was really, really fun. And we would do it for just warm. That's the way we'd kind of warm up when we'd get there and stuff. It was really fun.
Do you ever think you'll do a musical?
I'd love to do a musical.
Yeah.
I know my voice is fine. I know it's not
Mm.
exceptional. Like I would love, my dream musical role would be Fagin in Oliver. Um, Tall, wiry. I think I could pull it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not as tall and wiry as I would like to be to play Fagin because I
Mm.
love like the movie guy version, and they're always kind of lanky, and I'm not super lanky, but I think I could do a good job. And
Yeah.
his singing isn't so complicated.
What about like Mass Singer? I feel like you'd be great on that.
Oh, I mean, sure, why not? I don't know. They've never asked me, so we'll see.
Your
uh,
mask could be the crust
yes,
monster.
maybe the crust monster, which would sadly give me away pretty quick.
What is a song that makes you emotional?
um, Gosh, that's a good one. Um, oh gosh, another old Lang Syne. Do you remember that song? Do you remember Dan
Mm.
Fogelberg? He had a
Yeah,
very
yeah,
good
yeah.
voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a very sweet song about um running into an old high school friend. And it's Christmas Eve and they're kind of both alone and she's kind of in a sad marriage and he's by himself, because he's been on the road and he wanted to get out of his family's house and stuff like that. And they meet, and then there's this great line that he says. Then we drank, we talked, they didn't make out or anything. And then, she says she got to get back to her home. And as she drives away, he goes, just for a moment, I am back at school with that old familiar pain. And I
Mm.
was like, oh, I know that pain. The pain of like the one that got away, the one that, and every time I hear that, that just hits my gut. It's really, really beautiful. I love songs that make me a new one like that is Taylor Swift's song Betty.
Mm.
Where the young boy talks about, he messed up with her. Do you know the song I'm talking about?
No.
It's a she story tells for the first time in a different character, and
Yeah.
it's about a 17-year-old boy who messed up with his girlfriend, and he goes, and he goes, I don't know much, but I'm only 17, and I know that I miss you. She really good at those kind of those achy songs that make you feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
All right. What is a song that you associate with a milestone in your life?
Wow, that's a good one. Um, I would think, honestly, Celebration by Kool and the Gang, because we had all gotten our license, and David Rosenthal got a booster in his car for the stereo. And we listened to that like it was a freedom. I think it was a freedom for us to be driving around, but being able to listen to that song in David's great stereo, I'm sure my ears are ruined because of it. But oh my God, it was like our senior year. It was we were all driving, we were getting ready. I think that's definitely the one.
What is a song with some of your favorite lyrics?
Ooh. Um, I love Elvis Costello. He's one of my favorites, and he loves wordplay. He just loves wordplay. So, um, when this guy's talking about his jealous lover, I want to get you a pair of shoes that don't go out, but don't let in, but don't wear out. You know, it's just cool stuff like that. But I think there's a song. I don't know why. A song by Joe Jackson called "The Other Me," and
Hmm.
he basically is breaking up with the. He would love to have this affair, but he says she's the one and only for me. You know what I mean? But if I was split in two, the other me would hold you tight. The other me would make you feel all right. The other me, I don't know. There's something
Hmm.
about me like unrequited love. And I think it's because it spoke to me so much as a kid. I was so little and I was like the friend to all the girls. I was never the boyfriend. So it's like things where people can't have the love that they look for. I think they always hit me, and I just loved his lyrics. in that song, but a ton of Elvis Costello songs. I can't even name that many because he just
He's
his
amazing. Yeah.
wordsmithing, like even Veronica,
Mm.
such a beautiful song about Alzheimer's and his old grandmother, and but he word plays stuff so well, you
Yeah.
know. Um, yeah, like when in Clubland when he says your hands and your work aren't steady. So that's just a great line. It tells you exactly what the guys are. So
Yeah.
yeah,
He has a line in man, a song on Blood and Chocolate where something like I think about it in terms of my own kids all the time, but it's something like this kid's gonna grow up to be great, like this kid's, gonna be special. And then it's like, well, I guess that's what they all say, and that's where the trouble begins. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
he's a master.
yeah. He really is. He's such a great lyricist.
What is a song that you think people would be surprised to find out that you love?
Oh my God. Probably very early Justin Bieber. You Smile, I Smile. Love that song. Another Lonely Girl. Love that song. And then definitely the hits of One Direction because my daughters were growing up.
Hmm.
And again, like I don't know why people would go like, ugh, because it's the same ideology of the Jackson Five. They had
Right. Yeah.
amazing pop writers write amazing pop songs for the Jackson Five, and they are amazing and timeless. And One Direction had the same thing. And
Yeah.
so early Justin Bieber, they were great crafted pop songs. And young Justin Bieber had a beautiful voice. So I think people would be surprised that
Yeah. Oh, definitely. How
rock
old are
out.
your daughters?
21 and 24.
Oh, okay. They're
So
grown up.
it fits. Yeah.
Is that the only kids you have? Just two
Yeah,
daughters?
my two daughters. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I have two daughters too. They're six
Oh,
and
you
four.
do? What
Yeah.
age?
6 and 4.
Hmm.
So
Oh, you're in the lovely part.
it is nice, but yeah, they're just now starting to discover music. So it's uh,
Right. Oh, it's so fun. Isn't
it's
that
really fun.
fun?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
know all the words to K-pop Demon Hunters. That's what's really big in our house right
And
now.
and here's my thing.
So
I
into it.
don't I don't knock that movie, man. That movie
Oh,
is a family film killing it. And you keep hearing about it and you go, all right, I'll see it. And then you go, I get it. Well
yeah,
written, well crafted, great characters. It's beating Disney at Disney.
yeah. No, it's
Hands
super
down.
fun.
Super
Yeah.
fun and the music's great.
Hmm.
I think the music's really great. I was one of the ones who's like, I already got my wife the Christmas ornament of the cat because she loved the cat.
Oh yeah.
What was his name? It's a weird name. It's like, yeah, forget his
The
name.
cat, I don't know. I'm not that
The
deep in.
cat with the weird bird on its head.
Yeah, yeah.
Cat.
Yeah.
Like my wife loves that. So hopefully she doesn't listen to this podcast and knows this.
All right, what is a song that you love that somebody else introduced you to?
I think when I came from Maryland, which was very funk, Washington D.C. was known as the Chocolate City.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, Go-Go and all
tons
that.
of
Yeah.
Yeah, tons of funk. So we would always joke and say we're white chocolate. I born and raised on funk. My first concert, Rick James, the Commodores, Earth, Wind and Fire. Like I was just into soul and funk. So coming out to LA and it was, K Rock in the early 80s with Richard
Yeah.
Blade, he's like rocking new wave. And I had no idea what new wave was. So it was kind of being introduced to like Men at Work and early Bowie, hearing Kooks on his early albums and finding out, Aladdin Sane and just interesting music, Devo, finally
Mm,
hearing
yeah.
Devo, the Go-Go's, like all that stuff. All of New Wave really rocked me when I first got here in '82. It was amazing.
What about the other way? What's a song that you love that you introduced somebody else to?
I love I love when I know a lot of different music and I remember playing now that it's a subject of a movie, My Father's House off of uh Nebraska, Bruce Springsteen's Nebraska. There's a song called My Father's House, and it's about a difficult relationship with his father now that, he's been out about his depression and his life. And,
Yeah.
in his book, he talks about the difficult with his father. And I didn't have a great relationship with my father. And I remember playing that for my father. Um,
Mm.
and he thought, "You think that's us?" And I said, "To some degree, yeah." And but he was the type of guy that would listen to it and go, "Very interesting." But he'd get defensive. He's Irish and, had a whiskey and be like, "Well, men are supposed to be," you know what I mean?
Right.
But
Yeah.
I remember before he kind of put on that affectation, before you could tell he was hearing it because he didn't have a
Mm.
great relationship with his father, you know. So
Right.
I mean, to me, it's the ultimate difficult father and son song, period. Talk about lyrics. I mean, fantastic. I don't know
Yeah.
if you're familiar with the song, but it's
Yeah.
wonderful.
That's my favorite Springsteen. So
The
that kind of,
Nebraska,
yeah, that album is like
unreal.
I kind of grew up thinking Springsteen was not cool because I only kind of knew
Yes,
like the hits,
yes.
the 80s sound, and I remember kind
Mhm.
of being like a punk rock teenager and finding Nebraska and be like, oh, all right, I get it
Yeah,
now. This is
yeah, yeah.
incredible.
You kind of, and I hope they treat it well in the movie. But I think it's a wonderful subject. It's a
Yeah,
great subject because that album is so revered, but not known as well
yeah.
as stuff, obviously.
I am excited about the movie, but I feel like this kind of all these new music biopics are been very hit or miss for me. I really liked A
Yes,
Complete Unknown, but
I like the Complete Unknown. I thought the Freddie Mercury one was okay.
okay,
Uh,
I wished it was better.
I
Um,
wish it was better, but I surprisingly liked the Elton John one, the
I
musical one.
Yeah, I did like that one. Yeah, that guy
I
Terrence
know
is really
I
good.
know it was out of order, and there's something. I mean, definitely song choices he did later. Songs really, really early, like "I Want Love," which I've always liked that song. But I did like that one, and I don't know. I mean, this is a difficult one, but yes, I mean the Aretha Franklin one was a travesty. You know what I mean? That was a
Yeah.
bummer. I mean, it was. I don't, it's just like the James Brown one I thought was great,
Mm.
and obviously Ray to me is the pinnacle. I think
Yeah.
Ray is the one to beat, right? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Jamie Foxx became Ray Charles. That
Oh,
one was crazy.
it
That
was
was insane.
astounding. To me, that was astounding. I thought the young mother who played his mom, in the flashback scenes was just I just thought it was the probably the best biopic movie I'd ever seen was
Yeah.
that. It's really hard to beat that one.
Yeah. If you were gonna star in your own music biopic, who do you think you would play?
Uh oh, you mean I
Like
would
one that
love
hasn't been made yet. Like they're gonna
I
make
would
a
love to play Bowie. I would love to
oh,
play Bowie. I
that
mean,
would be
hands
so
down.
cool.
Always. I've always wanted to play him. I have enough of a face that with minor prosthetics, I know I could look more like him.
Sure.
And and I would love to do, him in the 80s where he was struggling with fame, he got super
Yeah.
famous and then he said he did stuff which is really interesting because people love Labyrinth, right?
I do
And
love that movie. I
if
grew
you
up with that movie as
know,
a kid, yeah.
but if you know David Bowie, he literally says the 80s after Let's Dance, that period was probably my weakest
Hmm.
artistic thing. I was just trying to be famous and do things in fame. So it's one of my wife and my millennial friends' favorite movies. And yet there's just this thing that I know, like, you know what I mean? Like they don't know that he doesn't love it. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that's why he blew it all up and did Tin Machine in the late 80s. And just people were like, what is this? It was his little trio band, if you remember.
Oh, I
Uh,
remember Tin Machine. Yeah. It's
yeah, yeah.
not the best, but I mean, I love that he was just always innovating, always trying
Yes.
stuff, like up until the very end. I mean, he's
And
brilliant.
at least Labyrinth is a cool movie. Like, obviously Jim Henson was experimenting with weird puppet stuff. And so I appreciate it, but I don't think I can ever love it as much knowing, his history and,
Yeah, that's one of those movies. It's just like if you were a kid, if that hit you at the
yes,
right time, then it's kind of
right.
like gonna be your favorite. I that
Yeah,
that was my first like exposure to David Bowie as a kid. So when I
right.
found out
And
later,
that's a lot of
yeah.
people's, which I was surprised when he passed. There was a lot of people who had that as their reference, and I thought, oh my God, that's nothing compared to, the Berlin albums, with Eno
Yeah,
and
it
all
wasn't
that.
necessarily what I thought about first when he passed, but it was definitely my introduction. And
Yeah, but that's great. But again, that's really cool because he inspired, I'm glad that he had that impact because then people discovered him more.
yeah. All right, last question. What is the most recent song that you've fallen in love with?
Man, what is my new I would say I really like uh a couple tracks off the new Tyler the Creator album. He's always
Nice.
mixing stuff up, man, and that guy, like when my daughters loved him and they were kind of turning me, they go, "Oh, you got to listen to and they turning me on to stuff. That guy's great, man. He really is a creator. He really is an artist. And then I saw him on an interview and I thought this guy's great, man, because he said, "My friends give me a hard time because I just got a platinum album." And they go, "Why would they give you a hard time?" He goes, "Well, because it was one of my old things from like 7, 8 years ago." And they go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "They're going, oh, well, it took you long enough." And he goes, "Guess what? I have a platinum album,
Yeah, it's
period."
amazing.
He goes, "Who cares?" You know what I mean? Like he goes, "Who cares?" He goes, "It's my work was not found yet, and then it was found, but at least I had it out there. My art is out there. I'm putting it out there, and some will be found and some will not." And I thought, this guy's amazing. And then I have a friend who works at a high-end Santa Monica restaurant who says he's fabulous when he comes in, and he's super nice.
Oh,
But I've said this generation does not have their upbeat songs is kind of like a mellow Taylor Swift song. And they're like, this is a bop. And I go, no, no, no. Celebration is a bop. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I grew up on, fun and the fun new wave. Like, it was always high energy. And there's a lot of mellow music coming out for the
yeah.
young kids. You know what I mean? It's really mellow. And I think he pops off a little bit and has a lot of fun in the kind of grabbing those old school 60s Motown 70s funk sounds.
Yeah,
But he's
for
always
sure.
putting out, and regardless, he's always going to put out something interesting.
Yes, definitely. All right, Sean, this was so great. Thank you so much. Anything you want to promote?
No, yeah, I mean, just look out for my movie Crust. It's on Tubi for free. It's on Amazon. It is on Apple TV. You can get to see that anywhere. And then follow me at Sean Whalen Actor on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. And you can see all my announcements of my next project will be out pretty soon. So
Awesome, Sean. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
thank you.
You've heard the stories, now hear the songs. Go to wherever you listen to music, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, and you can listen to today's guest's personalized playlist if you search for the guest list with Patrick Hicks.